Babe, this face. Hello my darlings, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is of course the long awaited, super detailed, super updated base routine for longevity, including products, tools, all the really good stuff that you guys have been absolutely on my case about and really looking forward to. So I really hope you enjoyed today's video, and I really hope you learned something cool and get new tips and tricks, and maybe, you know, find some new products that you are super excited about using, just like I'm super excited about everything I've spoken about. We've got some updated brushes, we've got some updated tools. It's all very excited and up to date on these sides. But before we get into the meat of today's video, I just want to speak to you guys a little bit about my journey here on the big red app, YouTube. My YouTube, you guys really are like my OG community on this big, scary, wide, deep internet. I've been talking all day, I'm very parched. Okay, so for you guys that don't know, or you're new, you come from another platform, I've been doing content for over 11 years and I'm about to move into my 7th year full time. As we come to the end of the year, we'll get a little bit reflective, but I like to do a lot of my reflections on this side of the year as opposed to the other side of the new year. I like to, what we now in November, so since October, honestly, because I'm a Virgo, my birthday's in September, that's usually like a very much like a new year for me, and I kind of hit the ground running then, and then by the time we get into January, it's like I'm in the flow of a new routine. So it's a perfect time to really talk to you guys about my journey and really reflect on my achievements so far and what has even led me to this point, and then my branch now into other platforms. So YouTube is the first place I started making content, and it was the only place I created content for a super long time. And because of that, a lot of my first big milestones were of course on this app. So my first 10k followers, my first 10k views, my first 100k followers, my first plaque, all of those achievements always lead back to YouTube. And this is really where I first made a community for myself. Whenever, you know, in the early stages, people come up to me and be like, hey, I love your content, or hey, love this, or hey, love that, or you taught me this, or you taught me that, it would always come back to YouTube. Now it's a little bit different because people mention other things, which is quite surprising to me, but at my core, YouTube has always been, and I'm just always so eternally grateful for the community I built on here, because no matter where I go, no matter how long I haven't been on the app for, this community is so strong that, you know, it's always like a, yes, we love that you're doing that there and there, but we want to see like a more in-depth version of this thing on YouTube. The community I built on here, I'm so grateful for it, because we really share this combined passion and love for all things beauty, you know, sometimes fashion, and it's so cool that I can still come on here and still connect with you guys in that way. I feel like, you know, when you have a friend that you might not have connected with them in a little bit, and then when you catch up, it's like you're just picking up from where you left off. That's really how it feels with you guys. I really think across all my platforms, my YouTube followers, my YouTube subscribers, you guys tend to know me the most, because you sit down and watch like my long vlogs, you sit down and listen to me babbling and talk about makeup and see my excitement. I'm always so grateful for the community I built on here, because you guys are really like no other follower or subscriber network I have anywhere else. You guys really are so unique, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And for you guys that have been here for a little bit longer, or even if you are new here, I don't think it's that hard to pick up on the fact that value and making sure I'm really bringing, whether that's entertainment or like new techniques or new tools or new products or new business, is at the core of everything I do. And I'm just always feel so blessed that you guys are so receptive. Number one, I wouldn't even be where I am if I hadn't started YouTube, because so much of what I learn and so much of what I can pass on to you guys, you know, I might have picked up from other makeup artists on this app. I definitely learned how to really do a face watching people on this app. So it's really a massive full circle moment. The thing that led me to even start YouTube is also the thing that allows me to continue YouTube. And for anyone that doesn't know, because some of you guys might not know, this is my full-time job. So I've been full-time creating content coming up to 7 years now. And I remember, little story time for you guys, I remember when I decided to go full-time, I actually went to university, something a lot of people don't know. So I was studying university and I had a year in industry, like a placement year. So I was working in London for that year, and it really gave me, well, I'm from London, I went to university in another city, then I came back to London for my placement year. And that year, in industry. I worked at the Walt Disney Company in corporate social responsibility, which is basically like the charitable element of a company. That year in industry gave me a taste of what it'd be like to do it full time, because obviously I was back in London, so you know, brands knew I was around, so they'd invite me to events, and it was really cool. I think that was when I first got my first kind of boost, because you know, everyone gets like little growth spurt moments. So that was in one of my growth spurt moments. So a lot of brands were recognizing me and noticing me and wanting to work with me, which is really cool, inviting me to events, which is super cool, and it really gave me a taste for what it would feel like to do it full time. But I was still apprehensive going into my final year of university, because you know, I didn't have the biggest platform, I didn't have the most followers, so that really worried me in terms of, would this be a sustainable path for me? And it's so crazy reflecting on that almost 7 years later. Esther Live, big up you Esther every single time, she's actually the one that gave me the confidence to say, you don't need to have the most, I don't even know if she remembers this conversation, but she was like, you don't need to have, you know, 1 million followers to go full time. You can make money from this, and you can really take it to where you need to take it with what you've got. And she really gave me that confidence to feel like I could do this full time. And at the time, YouTube was the platform that was most lucrative for me. It was the one I was most consistent on. It was one that I was most recognizable for. Posting videos on YouTube has led to this whole entire empire. It's actually really crazy to reflect on it. And honestly, I would not be here without my YouTube community. I say it all the time, you guys are second to none. So that's what kind of gave me the push to do this full time. And honestly, I couldn't imagine doing anything else now. To think that I was going to go become a diplomat. Can you actually imagine, to think that I was going to go do my masters in terrorism and security? This has been an absolutely incredible journey. I just wanted to reflect on that real quick before getting into the meat and the crux of today's video. I think I'm really well known now for being like the base queen, but actually a lot of people used to know me back in the day for doing hooded eye or small eye eyeshadow tutorials, and that was really what gave me one of my first boosts on this platform. And then the second boost came from doing my base routines, which I think that popularized me being like the base queen, doing the base routines on here. So it's so amazing that today's video is of course another detailed, updated base routine. Just, it's really crazy how many people have requested this video. It's hard sometimes when you've been doing something for so long. It doesn't feel like I've been doing it for as long as I've been doing it, but it's really in these moments where people actually want to learn from me, and people are interested in what I want to say, and you know, the products I have to recommend and the tools, so much to the point that on other platforms I get requested to do longer form. On YouTube, it always all come back to YouTube. It's like, yeah, this is great, this is lovely, but can we get a long detailed version of you really talking about it in detail on YouTube? And I will never take it for granted at all. Like, it really blows my mind. It makes me feel really warm and fuzzy inside, and I'm so grateful that I'm even given the opportunity to be able to share my passion with you guys and share my knowledge and wisdom with you. And after all these years, you guys still care about what I have to say, which is the biggest blessing of all. I feel like I'm getting emotional. I feel like I'm about to cry. My eyes are getting a bit glazy. So yeah, I'm just super grateful for you guys, super grateful for YouTube. Thank you for listening to my ramblings. This is part of what I'm talking about. Not many people will sit and listen to me ramble, but you guys always will, and that's why I love you guys so much. I say all that to say, I will never leave this app. This app is at the very core of everything I do, and I might go away for a little bit, and I'm sorry, and I'm trying to get better at being consistent on here. It's all about action. So yeah, next year we go again. Well, this year, because we're, you know, hitting the ground running. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Lots of knowledge to share. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I love you all so much, and I'll see you at the end. Bye. Or instead of bye, enjoy. At some point I will need to turn the external light on. So much noise. I will need to turn the external light on because the sun is setting. So excuse me, all this hair. I'm gonna try and whistle past brows because I feel that there are more important elements, for example the actual base. But for my brows, I literally just use Refi Brow Sculpt. I use a generous amount of this onto my brow hairs, like so. Very generous amount. And then I get the other end of it, comb these hairs all the way up, and I get my little bit. And then with this product, you just want to make sure there's no residue, because if there is, it's going to bleed into like the foundation element. So that's what the face is looking like right now. Oh, guys, I feel so out of breath. I don't even know why. Actually, I do know what. I just moved this entire setup into this room when I'm figuring out how I'm gonna set the makeup videos for YouTube in the new space, the new apartamente. Got the hair stuck in. Lovely. So I need to moisturize my hands. Yeah, my hands are dry as hell. So let me just moisturize those. Got my YouTube cup appropriately. Once I put the brow sculpt down, that's half of the work for me already done. Next, we're gonna go in with priming. You guys know, Fenty Beauty Soft Matte Primer. So people always have difficulty finding this particular one. This is the Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer, and this is soft matte. So I think they have like a normal one, they have soft matte, and then they have a hydrating one. So make sure you go for the soft matte. So it's the Instant Retouch Primer, and the shade is soft matte. Do you know what I really hate? Doing makeup with my rings on. Or like touching my face when I've got rings on. I don't know, it's like, kind of gives me the EBGBs. And the reason I'm using this camera, because I think it's the closest to what this will look like in real life. Give you the realism, okay? All right, base is done. I'm so excited to get into today's face. What? I'm so excited, okay? So, okay, I zoomed you guys back a touch so we can really get into the flavors, right? So once your primer is down, you know, you can leave it to sit and marinate and vibe and all that really good stuff. If you follow me on TikTok, you'd have seen these products endless amount of times, okay? I've been so obsessed with this. This is the Yummy Skin Blurring Balm. Yeah, Yummy Skin Blurring Balm from Danessa Myricks in the shade 9. I actually think I'm going to go right ahead and get this in the shade 8 now, because 9 is like way too deep for my complexion. But let me show you guys. So with this, I just work my brush into it, and then I do one little vibe here, one little vibe here. I've been loving the way this looks with my House Labs. So this is the House Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation in the shade 460 medium deep warm. Love this. When it comes to foundation, I love using dense brushes. So you either catch me with one like this, or you know, I have another one like this, but it's from Morphe. This one is from Chem Beauty in KO2. Also the Morphe M439. I feel like the name is just burnt into my memory from saying it for so long, for so many years. M4369. M4369. I think something like that. I'm not sure if it's been discontinued, because there was a time where I used to just purchase it all the time, just so I'd have like a whole bunch of backups on deck. But I remember going to purchase it and it just wasn't there for whatever reason. So my methodology when it comes to foundation is, so I've got a bit of hair there, it's just a stippling motion, this beautiful stippling motion where you just kind of pat the product where it is, where it's laid down. So whether you pick it up from your sponge or you apply it to your skin, however you want to apply it, just dab, like small dabbing motions. I'm not a big swiper, I just kind of dab and then I use the rest on my forehead. Don't really use too much product on my forehead at this stage, just because I know I'm going to do a heavy contour, which typically I put a lot on my forehead, and also a light highlighting, which also goes on my forehead. So this is the vibe, like the combination of those two products. As you can see, that Yummy Skin is, as I've said, a bit on the darker side, but those two combined, I'm actually going to get the number 8 today. I should have got it while I was in New York and North Carolina. I don't know why I didn't, but this is just, oh, delicious. Delicious, delicious, delicious. Absolutely gorgeous. It really is yummy skin. I tend to avoid using sponges, like I said, to blend out that foundation, just because dense keeps the product exactly where I need it. Now for concealer, I'm just applying a little bit of this shade, just because the one I'm going to use after is a tiny bit too light, I feel like, on its own. So I use a tiny bit of this. These are the PatMcGarth concealers. They are the Skin Fetish Sublime. Been really loving this. The first one I just used then was M19, and I'm about to go in with LM16, which is my preferred color. I do think the first shade I used is a little on the orange side, but as you can see, like I said, that one is just a bit too light to be used on its own. I've been super into this concealer, like really into it. And someone asked me how long I leave that to vibe. The time it takes me to blend out my contour is how long I leave that to vibe and chill and kind of mellow. So I do my contour there, there, forehead, and on the other side as well. But I guess it's good for you guys to see like the whole face being done. I like to apply like this and then blend out. Some people like to blend straight from the brush, but I like to put my placements down so I know where everything is. So if I'm not looking at you guys as much, because obviously I'm looking at me, just so I know where everything is going. Right, that is my placement for that. NARS Laguna Cream Bronzer in Laguna 04. Red handle brushes are all from Smashbox. Again, I'm not sure if these have been discontinued. I've had them for absolutely years. So with the contour, I just, I'm going kind of that stippling motion where you just want to keep it where you placed it. Same up here as well. And these are my placements, this kind of area here along my forehead, this semicircle vibe, and then connect it down to the chin and the jaw. The chin, yeah, the chin, and that's the general kind of placement for this. Where your face naturally shadows. I also get a lot of questions about the difference between bronzing and contour. The best way I can explain it is contouring is adding shadows, so it's essentially bringing structure to your face. That's why some people tend to go for a more cool tone kind of vibe. And then bronzer is adding warmth back into your skin. So that tends to be a bit more warmer, but that just brings the color back in. So after you've added the structure with contour, you bring back some life in essence to your face. I like to put it on the tip of my nose like this, and also this little bit here, which I call like my little wolfy contour, which essentially brings out that middle part of my face. So I don't have like a natural bridge on my nose, so I just focus my contour there to bring out my bridge. Now I feel like with contour, it depends what kind of vibe you like, what you want. Some people want to build a whole kind of structure. Mine is just more to accentuate what I already have. So your placements will be based around that. And I always do my upper lip because I love the way it makes my lip kind of look plumpish. I always say I have big lips, obviously, but using this, you can really kind of structure your lip. So that little trick just makes it a little bit more plumpish. And then on my under eye, I'm just blending it out using this Real Techniques 402 brush. I actually prefer the way this applies. This blends product out when it's dirty as opposed to when it's clean. And again, just very stipply. This bit I swipe to create the shape, but generally I will do stippling motions. As I always say, I like my product to be where I put it. Why would I put it down only to like swipe it all around? I just like nice controlled movements. And again with this, you just want to hit the places where the light naturally hits your face. That's how I decide where I want to highlight. Obviously this is a lot of product, but because I put on a certain amount of foundation, everything after that kind of has to follow a similar kind of vibe, if you get what I mean. If I used less foundation, I would use less of everything. But if I did a really heavy foundation, I tend to do, you know, a relatively heavy highlight and contour. And I always do a heavy contour, so just for balance. But even still, this is way less than I used to use. I used to use so much product. So in that sense, I'm going to brand myself. My final pass is a sponge just to really pick up any excess and really blend that away. It's getting so dark in here. I feel like I need to put a light on. And sometimes I take a little bit of that onto the eyelid just to continue the brightness. Run that onto the chin. And then I switch over, use the bottom to blend out that forehead so it's not so, you know, highlight contourish. It's more seamless. And then I just bounce back between my bronzer. At this point, you can also take the brush that you used to apply foundation just to really make sure that there is a nice seamless transition between your under eye concealer and your bronzer contour. And I also use this to sharpen up under my jaw, sharpen up that contour. I'm going to take a tiny bit of this BFF Pink Honey Face Bronzing Shafts on the same brush that I applied. And just really, I just want to add a bit more to my, just really add some more intensity to the bronzer, because I love the way that looks, like a strong bronzer. And then we're going to do the first round of setting. Now, when it comes to longevity, priming and setting are going to be your key. So at this point, I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless and just a couple spritz of this on the face. Now, I don't know that this necessarily adds anything to the longevity, but it's something I always do. So I think it's just one of those steps that contributes to your longevity. Will I say it was like the sole thing? Probably not, but it definitely contributes, okay? So that's what the face is looking like right now. I definitely get way more into setting than the creams. That's a lie. I love it all. I love all of it. And this is something that I've been doing recently. I take my airbrush finish from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm trying to show you guys. This is what it looks like. And this is number 3. And I take this on my number 98 brush from Sephora. I really love the Sephora brushes. They are such high quality brushes. I have a few in my routine. And I make this funny face. And I just set underneath there with number 3. I can't remember where I saw it. It was probably on TikTok. Someone said to set with a pressed powder first and then follow with the loose powder. So that is what I've been doing recently. And I haven't been hating it. So I use this in all of the areas that I highlighted. So around my mouth, chin, under eye, really make the stupidest face possible. So you can get into those areas. Now also hit it underneath here. I hit this underneath part a few times. Like so, and like so. And also just on top here. Which actually doubles up as kind of a lighter eyeshadow kind of vibe. And my forehead. So we're partially set. That looks so pretty. My loose powder, which is the, I was about to say the Buddha Beauty, but it's not the Buddha Beauty. It's the Huda Beauty Easy Bake in Banana Bread. Now, I like to use this little triangle sponge. You need to make sure like all the excess is actually off it, because the other day when I did my makeup, yesterday, so I used the shade, as I said, Banana Bread. This just adds a nice brightness and flawlessness to that under eye. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. These faces are so necessary to get into the crux of where you need to get into. Oh, woo. And I also like to take that onto my cheek because I hate when that area is too dewy. I just love matte finishes. Take that onto my chin as well. Do you see what I mean when you don't dust off properly? Cake. And on the forehead. I might have to give those Trillwell sponges another chance. Oh, delicious. Purely delicious, like wow. NARS powder bronzer. Still Laguna, but this time in 06. Yes, sir. And another Sephora brush. I told you, I really love these brushes. This is 93. It's like this angled brush. Really go in there and like get busy with the brush and the product. Tap off any excess. This powder bronzer is really good because it's very buildable. As you can see, it's not too offensive. You really have to build. I mean, that's a good and a bad thing. You really have to build it to the intensity you want. It's good because if you're a beginner, if you're heavy-handed like me, you can really have a lot of control with it, and you can build it up to the intensity that you want it to be. I also like to run it here on like the outside, and also just set that forehead down as well. So this is more just to set the bronzer or the contour, and then I'm going to go in with a slightly deeper shade just to really bring out those structures. So this is more of like a step one. Switching over to this Morphe Makeup L'Oreal brush in the number, I thought it had a number, but sorry about that. Okay, like I was saying, you get the, should bring you guys in a touch more. Ooh. And we just do these little wolfy vibe, but with powder, and you just want to blend that into the top of your brows. Just so it all connects. And then I like to put a little bit here as well, just so it connects to where I've been doing my creams. Also a little bit on the tip of my nose and my upper lip. You shouldn't look too crazy because it's buildable, but it's just subtle things that enhance the face. Tiny pencil brush. This is the Morphe M149, and I'm just going to run that underneath the eye. I'll show you the difference. These little things that you do that connects your face and makes you look incredible, but they're just subtle things. Look at the difference in my eyes. Like that depth that you're getting from the underneath bit. Chef's kiss. Like, yes. If you want to add a liner, you can as well, but it's just a really subtle way to just be like, hello, my eyes are awake and I am present, ready for class. Okay, Poppy Pink from Mario on this A22, also L'Oreal and Morphe collab. Smile, hit those apples and run it up to here. It's like a semicircle kind of vibe. Just really get that sweeping motion down. This is the only time I really sweep. You can also pat, but the sweep just allows you to really blend between the different layers. Oh, that is delish. And then anything left over, I run it on my nose and also this top part, just to make sure there's synergy between the whole face. Delicious. Oh! Like, I am truly gagged. Take that little brush again. This little brush is coming like a big hero, okay? So we're going back in with that 98. It's the one we used to set under our eyes first time. And we are taking this, it's like a powder foundation from MAC. It's the Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation. Gorgeous. What I love doing with this is just down here to really sharpen. And I'm intentionally doing this before I do my final contour. Very important, just to match. You can even pop it up here if you want to really blend through. Make sure everything is nice and blended. Like, look. Delicious. Shock, we're going for another Sephora brush. This is the Pro Brush in 96. Love Sephora brushes. You can actually get like I only recently discovered this. You can get a whole like brush set, which is quite pricey. It's $99. However, if you buy all these brushes individually, it's way more. I'll leave it linked. It's quite pricey, but these brushes are absolutely incredible. And Sephora is owned by LVMH, which is basically like the same house that own Fenty and all these like designer companies, so you know the quality. That's why Sephora own brand is so good. You know that quality is just 10/10. And when you invest in these brushes, Christmas is coming up, just stick it on your Christmas gift list, give it to like your friendship group if you do Secret Santa birthday group, or tell multiple people, or chip in. Once you have these brushes, it's like you have brushes for life. They just last so well, and they are incredible brushes. I can't lie, the quality is really good. And a lot of the individual brushes I have, they also are part of the set that you get for $99, so it's pretty good value for money. And actually, I would have got that if I knew about that before I got my brushes in the first place. I probably would have just got that. $99 is a big investment, but I do think it is really worth it for the brushes. Like these ones are like 30 something dollars each. Like some of these are $20 each. By the time you've done the math, it works out so much cheaper if you want to invest in brushes anyway. So that's what we're looking like. I just took my Charlotte Tilbury airbrush bronzer in Deep 4, this one, the big pan, and my 96 brush from Sephora, and you literally just want to blend that out but also blend out, so you still get the, do you get that, the way the light hits, and you've still got the cut from the bronzer, but it's also blended in very nicely. Do my double set. So take first this, not too much of this actually, because we just did. This is the money maker, the shit shaker, the thing that gets things moving. It's only a new addition that I've been using, but it's reminded me of how much I used to love aerosol sprays, because aerosol sprays, who also had an aerosol spray? Not Morphe, theirs was more liquidy. Who had the Gleam by Melanin Mills? Do you remember her? She used to have the body glows. Melanin Mills, back in the day. If you remember her, give me a shout. Okay, she used to have the body glows, and what is her name, the Canadian YouTuber used to use her all the time. That's actually how I discovered it. Gleam by Melanie Mills, like Melanie Mills Hollywood. What is her name? She used to use her all the time, and she used to use her fingers to blend in her makeup. She's the one that put me on. So her setting spray was this kind of aerosol, and it used to make your makeup last all freaking day, and it would look the exact same because it doesn't move anything on your face. I'm getting out of breath with all the excitement, but it reminds me of that. We'll come back to lips, don't worry. But there's something about having your lip line already done. I need to put lashes on as well. Are my lashes in here? Where are my little baby ones? Let's do these brows. I've been using these Rare Beauty brow harmonies. It's like a harmony and something. Harmony Precision Pencil in soft brown, soft black, and what shade is this? Deep brown and soft black. So I start with deep brown, this, and let me show you the magic, right? So what I like to do is I like to just fill in a little bit on the bottom, just with a little line, and then I rotate the pencil and just do these kind of hairlight strokes. Just really little ones, nothing crazy. Just using the side of it to really create those little strokes. Now add a little bit onto the end corner, and then just fill it in. Okay, that's what that's looking like. And then to take it to the next level, which also helps because this hair is dyed black, I take the soft black and I essentially do the same thing, these little hair-like strokes throughout it. And the way this transforms your brows is just like, whoa, look. The brow is here, but because of the Refi brow sculpt, to be fair, it makes doing all of this so much easier because the brow is basically like glued down to where you've put it, so it's not really that much more work, or that much work actually. And then jump in with the black and do the little strokies. Cool. Gorgeous, Gorgiana, love it. I need to put some lashes on, but also I'm like, because today was all about the base. My friend is so funny. She was like, your lashes are straight like a horse. It's giving, you know, when kids are like just so matter of fact about things, but they are actually quite straight. They won't stay up for very long, so if anyone has any recommendations for lash curlers, I am listening. That nose one is way too big. Okay, way too big. Just gonna use a selection of mascaras. I actually reckon if I use lash serum and got a lash lift, my lashes would actually be okay. They're just very straight. Judging by how like decent my bottom lashes are, I think my top lashes have potential. They're just shy girls. Because look, it's not too bad. I love this hella thick mascara from Fenty. It has been my obsession ever since I started using it. I'm just like, how long is this gonna take for it before these lashes start dropping? It's the only sad part. That's what they're looking like. Not too bad. Not bad, not bad. PatMcGarth Ground Control. I've been obsessed with this. I found this when I was moving out of my old place. Completely forgot I even ever had it. But I guess it's just one of those things that was just sitting in a box, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. Using my vinyl lip color from Maybelline. Love this and Captivated. Excellent product. So good. I love a liquid lipstick like I will never ever remove. And then my latest obsession, if you follow me on TikTok, has been this Shine Loud lip product from NYX. It's like a liquid lip and a gloss. Oh, gorgeous. Okay, this has been seriously everything. Clear gloss bit, almost like nail polish brush. And then if you want to like take your makeup to the next level, the last step I would do after everything is said and done said, take a little bit of number 2, still from Airbrush range from Charlotte Tilbury, on this P. Louise brush, and I just dab just the tiniest little bit, and this just really brightens everything up, like so. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but to me, it's like non-negotiable. This is a must-do step for me. Just to really kind of gives you that baby doll look. Just make sure you're blending it down, otherwise it looks a bit ghastly. See the way that's just, if you rewind it a little bit, you'll see the way that has just brightened. And I just take my blush brush and just make sure that is nice and blended. Yes. No, how dare you. That just took it to the next level. That just took me from cute to baby doll. And yes, now we are finished. You can even take a little bit of this. These are just like my finishing tweaking. Like, yep, a little bit on there, a little bit on there. Yep. Babe, this face. Insane. Look at this smooth. This is not the time to be going out of focus. Look at it. Sensational. I'm obsessed. I love it. This is the end of today's look. Like, wow. Am I gonna take this band off? I'm not gonna lie, guys, I don't know if I want to take the band off because the lace is really scaring me. Ooh. But this is the face. Oh babe, this face is eating. I can't wait for you guys to recreate this. Now you've seen the full detailed placements, brushes, all the products, everything. I think I touched on everything, but if I didn't, then just ask me in the comments. But I think I touched on everything. This is what we're looking like. Okay, let me take this off. I'm a little bit scared. Okay, so this is the finished look. I'm absolutely obsessed. I'm so glad with how this turned out. I hope this was really helpful. I hope you learned something cool and new. As I said, any questions, please leave it in the comments bit. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Face. Bye.